Hello Expandacraft fans, this is Wesley. I am going to run you through some drone footage of Black and Tan, the 16-foot plastic canoe, probably 10-15 years old, with the 16-foot 9-inch Expandacraft Outriggers. It's 8-foot beam with a wood deck. And here we are going deep downwind, going to do a jibe here. If you stick with us at the end of this video, we're going to do a breakdown and show you how to take the mast down. It's only about 2 minutes and some seconds long to take the mast down, but you'll get to see that at the end of the video. Here I am on a beam reach. Those of you who know sailing, you'll know a beam reach. This wind is like 15, 18 miles an hour right now. You'll be able to see, not here, but there will be some white caps out there when you get farther away from this little protective barrier island. And you'll also see that I probably should put a little block and tackle to bring that luff of the mainsail down a little bit, because it's causing a little bit of a bag right next to the mast. So if I get that luff nice and tight, the sail shape will be so much better. And of course, with good sail shape comes good speed, good performance. Speaking of performance, you're looking at a boat that is capable of double digits. Yes. And you know, on a run, like right now, I just went through a jibe there, and I'm going to turn and start going upwind. And it will sail straight up into about a 45-degree angle to the wind. You see a couple of little white caps there. Nice bit of acceleration. Now, if you look at the back of the boat, you'll see the rudder is sticking backwards. I did not know that when I was sailing. And that's going to prevent me from doing a jibe. Excuse me, a tack. I didn't know. I got out there and was trying to tack. I'm like, why is this thing not tacking? It tacks so well. Well, it's because I didn't have my rudder all the way down. So what I'm going to do, knowing that this is a test bed, this boat is still under development. We're tweaking it, getting it just right. And one of the things I'm going to do is put a little knot in the line that hauls the rudder down, and make a little mark so that I'll know when the rudder is fully down. That will keep this from going. Now, if you'll notice, we're getting into some little bit of chop here, 15, 18 mile an hour gusts. There will be a little bit of water that gets in. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to make a splash guard that's going to essentially do away with all of that splash water, and would be tough enough to even handle it if I punched through a wave, or if a giant boat wake went over the bow. It won't swamp the canoe. This canoe is an open canoe. You can foam the bottom of the canoe, put just 4 inches of foam on the bottom, then lay a piece of marine grade plywood over it. You have a floorboard, and the floorboard would be higher than that of the water level. Put scupper holes in there and poof, then you don't have to worry about the water coming in, because it'll just go right out. I'm just going to put a little baler in the back, a little electric bilge pump. Here I am, just cruising along, still not aware that my rudder is too far out. I think my next mover is another jibe. Now, this sail rig is a sail rig off of a sailing dinghy called a snipe. I got both of those sails brand spanking new for $500. They do have reefing points in them, so you can bring it down when the wind is really up there. You can still go sailing and not have to worry about overpowering your rig or bearing a bow too far. Not very likely to tip this boat over. It would take an awful lot. Now, I sit in the bottom because, one, I don't have to move. If you have mobility issues or any thing that would prevent you from scuttling from one side to the boat to the other, well, this is a good boat for you. And it's just so easy to sit in one place and do a tack. You can see underneath the sails. You don't have to be blinded by the sail as you would be if you're sitting on the wings. That'll help you out. If you join us and subscribe and hit that notification bell, you're going to get to see a lot more videos, because YouTube is not posting my videos as they used to be. I don't know what's going on with the algorithm, so it helps if you want to see more videos. They're not going to suggest them to you. That you have to look for them, and do that by subscribing, which does help my business. It really does. So subscribe, give me a thumbs up, make comments too, because the more comments, the better. The more likes, it does help get that algorithm going. Now, this is Lanark Village in the background, Florida. It's in the Panhandle, and just on the other side of the little spit of land is the Gulf of Mexico. Beautiful day, beautiful water, wonderful boat. Little white caps here and there. Remember, white caps form at a higher speed in salt water than they do in fresh water. So we're really honking out there. We're in relatively protected water behind that barrier island. So out in the Gulf, it was pretty rough. And you wouldn't want to be out in the Gulf in a boat like this anyway. This is a pleasure sailer, made to stay close to shore. Now, if you put the self-bailing, with the foam floor in there, then you might venture offshore a little bit more. But still, be smart. This is not an ocean crossing vessel, folks. This is a fun toy, and it's something that's very, very affordable. Compare this to one of the Hobie sailing kayaks. With the Hobie sailing kayak, though there's no comparison in the price. The price is ridiculous on the Hobies compared to Expandacraft. No competition there. But I can take 4 people on this boat without the sail rigged and made up as just a electric motorboat. I can take as many as 6 people. And I have had as many as 1,800 pounds, I think it was, in this boat with just an electric motor going up the river. That was without sail. So the idea too with this boat is that it has a great deal more sail area than the Hobie. So you can move a lot more weight through the water. You can, if you're wanting to go out and camp on an island, you can take all sorts of gear with you. Not so much with the Hobie. The other thing is you can sail high and dry on this boat. The Hobie is a kayak that sits you basically with your butt in the water almost, and so it is a much wetter ride than the Expandacraft, the Hobie is. So that's something to consider, is that it hauls a lot more weight and it can sail high and dry. It's still a very simple boat to operate. It does have reefing points in the sail, so you can take it down, and that's it being the sail, and go through some even higher winds than this. Now, if you subscribe to our channel, you're also going to find out how we're going to do these how-to videos, like how to build your own wood rudder, just like the one that's here on Black and Tan, and many other how-tos that are coming up. But that's the things that are coming up. This is a good little sailing boat. She jibes and tacks with ease from one seated position in the canoe. I got a nice little comfortable chair down in there, and even though I can sit on the wings, which I do sometimes when I'm on a long tack, I might want to sit up with my legs under me, or even stand. This boat is plenty stable for that. Not very likely to sail this boat into a capsize. It's just not enough sail area, and you got a lot of beam. Well, this is about it for this video, folks. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that like button. Share.
Hi, I'm Wesley with Expandacraft, and I'm going to show you how to take down this boat in real time. And this is a 16-foot outrigger, 16 feet 9 inches on an old canoe. We have some aerial video, some drone video that we took today. If you subscribe and hit the notification bell, then you'll get to know when we upload the video that we took today in some brisk wind, like 15, 18 miles an hour worth of wind. And it's drone video, so subscribe and hit that like button. Okay, we rolled up the mast already, excuse me, the mainsail. Now I'm going to drop the mast. This is all I do. I make sure everything is tight, neat, tidy here. This is my jib halyards. This is the main halyard. Now this is all I do. I take this purchase system off. This is what I break down to get the rigging good and tight. Just get my hand on there. Now I'm the only thing holding this mast up right now. Yeah, get it all macked up. There we go. Okay, so I'm holding up the mast. If I let it go, it'll just drop. So I'm going to hold a little bit of pressure on it back here, and then I put my hands on it. Once I got my hands on it, I'm good. This mast is not that heavy, and I can just lift it off of the base, walk it over, walk it down, and I just walk my hands up the mast a bit. And down she goes. And of course then you strap it down when you're done for travel. But that's it. Hit that red button and it'll stop the video there.